I could make you the host, but we really need to make Kymberly the host.
I think we're ready to get started. I'm going to stop our video slide and turn it over to Tracy.
All right. We've got like 1 minute.
We can do a lot in 1 minute.
Exactly. If you need to refill that coffee or whatever, you got a minute. It's so fun to see everybody today and online. Thank you for joining us on this special day, celebration day. We're celebrating in the morning and in the evening. So uh, it's a long day for all of us. So it's almost 8. So we can't wait to get started. All right. I know it's different for those of you who are usually in person to be joining us online. So anyway, I show 7:59. I know we're just about at 8. March, they're going to put a link in where people can register. Again, a lot of the people that join us online are throughout Texas, so some aren't that close to us. All right, well, now it's 8 a.m., so welcome everybody. So happy to have you here this morning. I'm Tracy Irby. I'm the director of the Center for Women Entrepreneurs, and just thrilled to have all of you here today for that. Okay, so we are part of the larger Jane Nelson Institute for Women's Leadership at Texas Women's University. They're dedicated to preparing more women to take on successful roles in business and public service. Our 3 specialized centers provide women with the education to establish executive level careers, the skills for building entrepreneurial businesses, and the framework needed to run for public office. That includes the Center for Student Leadership and the Center for Women in Government and our center. So today's going to be a little different than our usual WomenRISE as we're celebrating the 10-year anniversary of the center. So today we'll be reflecting, celebrating, and having some fun as we reminisce over the past 10 years. So I'm going to introduce our staff, but first I'm going to introduce Donalisa Stinyard because she has been with us for so many years. Now, we know she's at the Center for Student Leadership doing great things now, but we couldn't do this without her here today. We also have Christina Mortel, and she will be in town for the event for those of you who will be here today. We have Kymberly Nielsen. She is our statewide program manager. And for those of you who are always on Zoom, she is the Zoom host. And we have Lourdes Ramboa, the newest one to our team. She is our associate director of business development. We also have Barbara Reinke, who is our program director. So, so glad that all of you are here. So now all of you online, please feel free to put your business information in the chat. And we do send out the chat as well. So everybody will get that as they get the replay on this today. So if you could get busy with that, and then I'm going to turn it over to Lourdes to get us started.
Yes, I'll give you guys a couple minutes to share your information and introduce yourselves, and then we will get the show on the road for today's celebration.
So they put the link in there a couple times. So if any of you are local and want to join us tonight, please put your information in there. The event is from 5 to 7. There are several people on here who have a table tonight, so I know they would love to have you come and visit their table as well.
Yes, please join us. We would love to see you.
All right, well, we're fine to get started, Lourdes.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. Let's start out with you, Tracy.
Yay.
As you know, one of the individuals who has been here the longest,
Yes.
right? So looking back to those early days, how did the Center for Women Entrepreneurs come to be?
All right. So the early days, I came in 2018. It actually started in 2015, and Shannon came in 2017. So in the early days, if you looked at that slide, we started out downstairs in the basement. And if any of you have ever been in that basement, it is creepy. And it has really low ceilings. For somebody who was short, it was kind of nice though, because it was the only time I ever felt tall in my life down there. They dug up the floor, the concrete there. So for a while we had to walk through this concrete area that was wide open, hoping to be safe as we were down there and in there. But the center really started picking up around that time, and really started growing, having more employees than they ever did before. When I started the formal small business advising program. But when we were downstairs in that building or in that office, there were no offices. It was a big wide room, and there were some partitions. So for advising, it really wasn't very good because other people could hear you. And so advising should be always confidential. So eventually some were closed off more, but when we were able to come up here, it was so nice to be able to shut the door and have those private sessions where no one would hear what was going on in advising.
So what would you say were some of the initial hurdles or triumphs you vividly remember from when you started?
Oh, so I mean, really, there was so much, but it was just growing and really trying to figure out the best things and programming for women. Back then, we didn't have a training room, so we first were doing these at Stoke and would have to have get breakfast and bring it in there, and then we moved to hotels. So that was a little different as well in the planning process and everything that we had to do. And then just really growing outside of the Denton area. I mean, of course, we love Denton, and this is where we're based, but we are funded by the state for all women in Texas. And darn it, Texas is big. So, so, but we can say we have really grown and grown over the years. And so, I mean, those are some of the triumphs and really truly meeting such fantastic women, watching them start their business and grow, people who've been through our classes, won grants, all of those. It really makes our job kind of a blessing sometimes to come to work, to be able to see and really the changes in women as they are part of our programs.
So you kind of touch on this a little bit in your answer here, but what has been one moment, big or small, that truly affirmed the purpose and impact of the center for you personally?
So, I mean, I'm going to have to say the Assist Her grant. I mean, that was the biggest program we did, but it was at a time women needed help like never before. The idea as we did that is we have got to help women in Texas. Many women are the sole providers at their home. If they are an entrepreneur, and they aren't getting income anymore, that could really disrupt the whole family. So, oh my gosh, what a crazy time it was though. So we gave 100 women um, 10,000 each whose business had been affected by COVID. Well, this started right as we went home. So this was amazing that TWU moved so fast. We were able to announce that at the end of March of 2020. So that was really the first help out there that I remember for entrepreneurs. But oh my God, we moved home and I was answering phone calls and emails. Well, after day one, it's like, oh man, no more phone calls because they were just coming in like crazy. And I'd answer the phone, then I'd have like 10 messages and 20 emails. So I'm like, okay. And we've kept it this way since that we're only going to answer grant questions through the grant email. I mean, not only for your protection, but ours. If anybody comes back later, we have a document that says, but that while it was hard work, it was definitely worth it. We received over 5,000 applications for that grant. So it was crazy, crazy. Everybody was busy doing something to help. But that's truly the one that has made the most impact, and that we were there at the forefront and one of the first out there that was able to give funding to entrepreneurs.
Every year journey has a few surprises. Can you share a humorous or unexpected moment that still makes you smile when you think back over the past decade?
Oh, so there are many, but still the funniest is it's kind of an in-house joke too. So I am very much a rules follower. And we had somebody who had to return something to us. So they sent $5 and then some cards and something else. And so as I'm getting ready to, we were going to send this back to procurement, I thought, uh, let me just make a copy of the $5. So I go to the copier. It didn't print. And then I go back to and it didn't print. And then I went again. And it's like, oh, there's some writing down here. Well, it's illegal to make a copy of money. And I was just trying to do the right thing. So I felt so silly. I'm like, y'all, if anybody comes up here in blue suits or whatever, they may be looking for me. I'm really not copying money. And so for Boss's Day, I'm looking at it now, and it was in one of those. They gave me $5 with a big "do not copy" in there, and it's just one of those things that it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. But I was really trying so hard to show that we got that $5.
So the rule follower almost ended up in jail for it's illegal.
So that reminder is here on my wall. In fact, I'm looking at it right now, and I know you put it in the
And we put it in the slides
somewhere.
as a reminder.
So luckily nobody came to the office or anything, and I was okay, but I just a note to all, never copy money.
Lesson learned.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Tracy, for sharing those insights and taking us down memory lane. I'm going to now turn it over to another person that has made a tremendous impact in the center, and that is Donalisa.
Good morning.
Good morning. So, when you joined the center, what was your first impression, and how did your role evolve as the organization grew?
So, my first impression was, I felt like I had struck the mother lode, right? Where else do you get to wake up every morning and help women step into their dreams of being an entrepreneur, right? I was so excited for the opportunity, and when I got brought on, Shannon Mantero, who is over the whole Jane Nelson, was the director at the CWE at the time. And so she brought me in to do social media, to help with WomenRISE, because I think they had just really started that. It had just maybe been going maybe 6 months. It was less than a year by the time I came on. And to work with our scholarship students. And so over time, the WomenRISE, the whole programming piece became more of my responsibility. And so it evolved into the Saturday workshops, into the Thursday evening special quarterly trainings, to the headshot events, and just really an opportunity to expand our programming and provide more resources in that capacity for women in our community.
Yeah, I agree with you. Having sort of followed in your footsteps, I think I had hit the mother lode too and having this opportunity. So I echo your sentiments there. What's a standout memory that encapsulates what the center means to you, whether it was a client, a program, or a milestone moment?
So I think for me, the programming piece was huge, but the other part was social media. So when I came on, there was a very small footprint social media wise. There wasn't anybody that was specifically responsible for that. I think the team at the time, which was only 2 or 3 people, it was Shannon and Tracy and one other individual, and it was kind of a random thing. So having that opportunity to grow our social media and to be able to, I remember my first thought was, I'm going to get us, more recognition, past Denton or, past the DFW Metroplex. And I found out early on that, I think there's still people in DFW that don't know anything about the Center for Women Entrepreneurs, right? As much as we go out there and Tracy spends time networking and, Kymberly's out there and Christina, everybody's out there doing that. There's still a lot of people that don't know about us. And so the opportunity to grow our brand on social media and really taking some time to highlight the women in our community. And so for me, that milestone moment was when we introduced Women-Owned Wednesdays. And so what started out as, myself and the student assistants would be, beating the pavement, asking women, hey, can we feature you? Hey, would you like to be featured? At some point, it made a pivot to where people were reaching out to us and asking us if they could be featured. And so for somebody that puts something together like that, for that to be what happens, right? Instead of having to beat the pavement's coming to me. For me, that was a big milestone moment.
Yeah, and an impactful one as well. So we have those behind the scenes stories. Was there an event or a program that didn't go quite as planned, but left you with a funny or a meaningful memory?
So I thought about this, and I think for me, the most meaningful memory is all the women that have answered my call to speak. Because for 5 years, the programming between WomenRISE, that's 12 programs, right? And yeah, Tracy comes in and does she'll do something about grants. And then we had a couple that were, every year we would do the same programs and have some of our partners come in. But 12 times 5, that's 60 speakers, plus Saturdays, plus Thursdays, plus all of the fast track, all of the grant, all of those speakers. And so for me, the most meaningful is all of those women that were willing to take my call, that said yes, that were willing to pour back into a community of women who were trying to step into entrepreneurship and to make their dreams come true. And so for me, I just say thank you to that. That for me is the most meaningful moment. And I appreciate every last one of them for saying yes.
Very nice. Absolutely. We appreciate them continuously. I will now step into your shoes and I will continue to appreciate every one of you that steps in and says yes when we ask them if they're willing to be a speaker for us. Thank you, Donalisa. Appreciate that.
My pleasure.
All right, Kymberly, it's your turn now to tell your story.
Okay, I'm ready.
So, as the statewide program manager, you've had a front row center to how the center's programs have touched women's lives across Texas. What's one story from the field that has stayed with you?
You know, I think you could name any member of any cohort, and I can tell you something they said or did that impacted me. I honestly, I think you could pull a name out of a hat and I could tell you something they said or did that really, really stuck with me. But one that has really been pulling at my heartstrings lately is we had a young lady apply to the Houston Accelerator 3 times. And on the 3rd time, she got in. And it was very exciting to see that she got in. And as many of you know that have been in the accelerator, it's not necessarily about your location or your business. It also has to do with fitting in with the right people at the right time. And it has to do with you turning in proof of woman owned. That will keep you off too. But this founder really took it for all it was worth. Did the work, and she was challenged very aggressively by the team from Chase that comes to the Houston cohort and does a kind of a challenge session with them, talks about their business and says, I want you to get this done in X number of months. Well, Kaylin Beck from Beck and Call was challenged to open a bed and breakfast in 3 months. And here we are just a couple of months later, and Kaylin Beck has her first bed and breakfast. It is not open yet. It is in the historic 3rd Ward. If you follow her on LinkedIn, she's going through the cleaning process, the landscaping process, and it's just, I have goosebumps talking about it because this is someone who kept trying the accelerator, didn't give up, got in, then took every moment of it and took the challenge and found a way to meet the challenge. So that's the one that's sticking with me a lot right now. And if you go to Houston, please make sure you look up Beck and Call. She should be opening soon. Follow her on LinkedIn. She's not paying me for this advertisement.
Well, I think that that's one of the most powerful things about what you do as well as what we do here at the center, and that is being able to connect with one another and connect not just in the journey, but also in support, right? From a business standpoint and saying, hey, I met this person that I connected with at this event, and I am now a customer, as well as somebody that's connected that I can call and say, I'm struggling with this. So that's also, I think, a testament to what you do through the work that you do on the field.
Thank you.
So how have you seen the entrepreneurial landscape for women shift or evolve during your time here? And how has the center responded to those changes?
I think I didn't realize until I joined the CWE how little resources there were directly for women. And I have to admit, we have a family-owned business that is 4 generations of women-owned and run, and I didn't know the CWE. So what I've seen come to light is the realization that we have a lot in Texas that is for tech. If you want to join a tech accelerator, if you want to get a tech grant, if you want to do anything tech, there's quite a bit for you. There's also quite a bit if you are a larger startup where you're talking about higher revenues. But for women-owned businesses, a lot of times the business kind of evolved organically because it was something the woman was good at. Her friend looked at her and said, you should make this a business. And there isn't a lot for that small, truly small business that's woman-owned. And I think that the rest of the state is starting to see that and embrace it. And that's very exciting. We had, a call from one of our partners in the SBA saying, can we bring the program to Corpus Christi? And we made that happen. Then she wanted it in Mission, and we made that happen. And then we went to Austin, where everyone thinks, well, Austin has everything. Why'd they go to Austin? Austin doesn't have anything for women, so much so, women that aren't in tech, so much so that even their mayor formed a task force about it. And so we answered that call. And so I think that more and more communities are realizing that the needs of women-owned businesses are different and need to be addressed. Yeah.
So I've asked this question almost of everybody. What was one event or a program moment that went sideways in the most memorable and maybe hilarious kind of way? I know you have many.
Yeah. Well, it was the very beginning of my tenure here at the CWE. And I had taken welcome bags and swag to the Houston co-working space, preparing for the next Houston cohort. And the next morning, I'm checking out of the hotel, and I take my empty suitcase to my car because I had a lot to carry. And I thought, well, this one's empty. I'll get this one in the car. I'll go to breakfast. Then I'll grab my stuff. I'm a planner, you guys. I mean, I have a schedule for everything, right? I'll go get my stuff and I'll come out to my car. And I go out to my car with my backpack and my suitcase, and I can't find my car anywhere. Now, who wants to be the person that goes to the front desk and says, I can't find my car? And then they look on the camera and say, well, it's right there. But I knew I had parked next to this beautiful Jeep. So I walk all 5 floors of the parking lot because I know, this is going to be embarrassing. And lo and behold, when I go to the front desk and tell them I can't find my car, the bellman goes, oh my gosh, I wonder if that was the broken glass I swept up. Sure enough, my car had been stolen. Not my car, by the way, a rental. Rented under TWU's name. So I have to call Tracy and say, I may be a little bit late getting back, and I should probably tell you that I had a car stolen today. So that was probably my biggest wow, turned into a funny moment because the hotel handled it beautifully. I'd like to say that the Home 2 Suites on Alameda in Houston, if you ever have to go to Houston, I highly recommend them. I still stay there every time I go to Houston because of how they handled the situation. And the police officer thought it was the best thing in the world because being that it was a rental car, it was tracked and the suitcase inside was empty. So, and
Well,
Tracy was very kind about it.
I know that I would have been super stressed. I mean, it's funny now, but in that moment, I can only imagine how stressed that must have been. So I know you have plenty of other funny stories, so I appreciate you sharing that one because that was definitely at the very least memorable. So thank you for that. Okay, Christina, now I'm coming to you, asking you, our small business advisor. I tell everybody when I tell them about you that you're the small business advisor rock star.
Oh, I don't know about that.
So much and so many people and so much. So I think that if anybody's out there joining us today and you need small business advice, and I'm telling you, this lady is definitely a person to connect with. So often you are the first person a client speaks to. Can you tell us a little bit about the power of the conversation?
Yes, absolutely. And it's my favorite. I will say that the first time I meet with a client, I always ask, and it's the best part, what their startup story is. And if anyone I've worked with is on the call, they'll know that I will ask, how did you get here? What was the reason that you decided to start? Because this helps me then understand where they're coming from. And sometimes we spend 15, 20 minutes understanding the past, how they got to where they are. And I find it really rewarding because those are the things that we remember. And I think it's really helpful for our clients to speak these things out loud and to be heard. So I think it's really compelling and it's really helpful to me. And it really then, in terms of advising, sets the stage for how we approach what's next. And of course, I love their stories and the fact that we do cover the state. I hear from everybody, all different kinds of stories that are coming from, big cities, little towns, Kymberly's point, family-owned businesses. And it's really enriching for me too, as the advisor. So to me, I think it's the best thing for our clients to tell, the why, their why, and how they got started. So I think that's really compelling. It's compelling for me and I love it. And I remember everything then.
Yeah, I know you have such a great memory and you know your clients really, really well. Even the ones that are from the way, way past that come back to you. What do clients say is the most rewarding part of walking alongside them as they build their businesses from idea to reality?
Yeah, I think the feedback I have gotten is that they love the opportunity or they welcome the opportunity to have us as a sounding board, or at least the advisors, for example, and have them talk through whatever perhaps their issue is or their problem. And sometimes, I mean, I get, we spend 45 minutes maybe talking about one thing and deciding, here we then decide, hey, do we pivot? Do we persevere? Or do we pause, let's say? Is there something we have to put on the back burner for now? And so I think that's one thing I get. They say, "Hey, this has been great," because they need, or our clients need a sounding board, I think, and just to be able to talk through things in a, uncritical, in an open way. And I think it's great if the CWE can still be that sounding board for them and give them a chance to speak. And I think that really helps them to walk away feeling, hopefully, a little bit more nourished. And the last thing I will say about that, I have tried to make it every time I meet with a client, if there is a client I know, another client, another business owner, where we can do connect them, either to have a woulda, shoulda, coulda conversation, or to build capacity, or to see if there's a way to work complementary. I always try to connect our clients to one another, and sometimes it's one handshake at a time, and sometimes it's just a virtual email, and say, hey, you got to know this person. And I hope that is helpful, because I think, to me, those relationships, to the earliest point that Tracy made, the earliest relationships, it's so important, I think, for everyone, especially since I'm working in a virtual environment most of the time, and everyone has the benefit of seeing each other, up in Denton, and then when we do things. But it's really important that I connect to others across the state to each other, and I'm hoping that is something that's beneficial to our clients.
Well, that's awesome. I think that, like I said, I think you are the first touch point that many of our clients have with the center. And I think it's really impactful for them as well, just as it is for you, that they get to tell their story and they get to share with you their why, as well as walk you through everything else that they are struggling with, and being that sounding board for them and being able to support them. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's enriching for me. So thank you.
Well, at this point, as Kymberly has put on the chat, I can't speak today. If you have a CWE story you want to share, please let me know, and we'll let Kymberly know, and she'll let you go. She'll go off, let you go off mute. But other than that, I'm going to do what I call the rapid fire questions of these wonderful individuals that have just shared with us some of their stories about the center. So any one of them can answer. So first question, favorite CW memory in one sentence. Anybody?
Me.
Okay, Donalisa.
I think when we came back from COVID and we had our new digs, we had new offices, we had the training room, And I think that was a game changer for us.
No more basement with cement, as the slideshow showed, an open area and having to be in the basement all the time.
Mhm.
Nice.
Okay, and this in one sentence is hard, but truly to see the growth in the entrepreneurs who started with us.
Yes. Kymberly?
Tracy, one sentence is always hard for me. You all know that. When I tell people what I do, I had a friend, we were, a friend group night out, and one of the men said, I wish I smiled the way you do when I talk about my job. And I was like, yeah, it's the best.
Oh, that's nice. All right, next question. Most used phrase or inside joke around the office?
Okay, well, it's not really a joke, but our saying around here is read, read, read. It is so important that we truly want to see great grant applications, great applications when they come in. And I think we get questions that are written out in the FAQ and other places. So when we say read, 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 it's because the answers are usually there that people are looking for. And it's not really a joke, but it is something we'll just sometimes just read, 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 that it is there. So just when I saw this question, I was like, it's not funny, but it is a used phrase that we have because we want everyone to succeed and put in good applications, et cetera. Not just for us, but wherever you're going, because there's so many opportunities out there, and you have to give the people what they're asking for. So that's why we have, and any of you have been through a grant presentation, you'll hear me say that over and over and over again. But I know there's some other fun ones, so surely somebody can add to that.
I think on the road, probably my most used phrase is, if this doesn't work, we can pivot. Whether it's Sharita and I trying to learn the new tech at the Houston cohort, or when we went into our new space in Austin, which was a little bit more tech involved, down in Mission, if this doesn't work, we can pivot. But I think that applies to all women. We're good at pivoting.
Agreed. One thing people don't realize about what you do, or what we do here at the center. What would be
Well,
one thing?
I'll just say many don't realize we are open to the whole state of Texas, that we are not a student program. And it doesn't matter how many times we go out. And sometimes there are even people that work here at TWU that don't realize we're funded to help women anywhere in the state of Texas.
I think another thing that people don't realize is how many training classes and webinars we attend, because we want to make sure that we're up to date on the latest thought leadership in the small business world. Sometimes Tracy and I will both have two of the same webinar at the same time, and we'll say, okay, well, you go to this one, I'll go to this one, to see, because if they're at the same time. But we spend a lot of time attending thought leadership and ecosystem information, whether it's BMC or business planning or marketing, every week, a couple of training sessions a week.
Thanks for saying that, because it is so important. I mean, you guys are entrepreneurs, it's forever changing. And I mean, that we need to be on top of it too, to make sure we're giving you current information as well. But we do attend a lot of virtual training sessions.
And Christina is like the partner connection. She is always attending our partner webinars where the bigger picture is looked at the state level.
That's what I was going to say too. Thanks, Kymberly, on that, because a lot of our partners, to your point, also didn't even know all the things that we do, and then reach out to us to help them. I was really surprised. I had an entity in Austin say, "I need more women-owned businesses, Christina," and I was kind of shocked because, from my perspective, I'm like, "What do you mean you need more women-owned businesses?" But he did not have many. You know, he was a procurement representative, and he wanted more women-owned businesses to send their cap statements in, engage with him, have meetings. And I would kind of really open my eyes to say, wow, because a lot of, we think everyone knows about us. No. and so it makes me say, try to fill pockets of information, especially for GovCon, especially for construction, all these things. I really try to make some inroads with our partners. And of course, all the SBDCs and the, Apex accelerators and that too. They also reach out to us too, always looking for women-owned businesses. So our partners also need to know about us, and they didn't even realize everything we do. So from the partner perspective too, yes, it was definitely something new for them as well. And I'm glad that we are doing a good job with connecting, as well as with all the economic development corporations too. Really important that they know that we're here as a resource.
I think
Absolutely.
for me, letting people know that the CWE has a YouTube channel. And so if there's any topic that you are struggling with in your business, there's a 99.9% chance that there's going to be a YouTube video from a past WomenRISE or a past training that we've done that would be beneficial for you to listen to. So I know when we do the feedback at the end of WomenRISE and people ask for topics, a lot of those things are on our YouTube channel. So be sure to check that out.
Great points, Donalisa, because that's right. I was surprised when I came how much video there was available for anybody that's interested in all of our past trainings, past WomenRISE, just a variety of really good resources available for anyone interested. So absolutely.
There's more than 100 videos on there.
Yeah. If CW was a song, what would the title be?
That's an easy one. This girl is on fire. Yeah, everybody's like, I play it, but Zoom wouldn't let me.
I know. We can't do
Yeah.
it.
And
We had cool music, but we can't do it.
On our link tree, you can find our playlist, our WomenRISE playlist.
Yes.
And I love having that because I know that it was curated by Donalisa. So the content is appropriate. I can play it when I'm in a new space and not have to worry about what's going to come up. So you should listen to it and play it in the background when you're cleaning your office.
so we also learned that we cannot have video and upload to YouTube because we got a hand slap for that. So now when anybody's going to present, we tell them that we can't have any music in the background.
Donalisa, you were going to share?
I was just going to say, ask if I could have like 30 seconds to share the story behind the playlist. So
Absolutely.
myself and the student assistants decided to put that playlist together because we understand how hard it is being an entrepreneur and sometimes how lonely it could be. And so we specifically curated that playlist for you so that in those moments when you needed to be unstoppable, when you needed to feel stronger, when you needed to feel like you were a girl on fire, that you could key into those songs and be motivated and encouraged in your journey. So just wanted to share that.
And it's a pretty cool playlist. So like Kymberly says, we encourage you to check it out. Another great resource we offer here at the center. entertainment, good music, keep you jamming. So along in your journey. All right. So one last time, anyone wants to share the biggest oops that turned just fine?
Well, we had thought and talked about this, but it's like we probably shouldn't say those oops on a video that's going on our YouTube.
We had a lot of those conversations. Nope, can't tell that one. Nope, can't tell that one. I think an oops that I had was our fast track cohorts are at idea stage and really building. And by the way, they are just blowing up. Several of them are on this call. Congratulations, ladies. I'm so impressed with you. But when they present virtually, because the program is virtual. And when we came to our last session, I just assumed everyone knew how to screen share. We hadn't been through that. And they're early stage founders, at idea stage. By the time it's over, they're launching. But so they hadn't presented decks. They hadn't done a formal pitch on Zoom. And we got a lot of laughs out of it. And I think Misha's on this call. There's a couple of ladies that were there that are on this call when we realized it was something that we hadn't gone over, and it wasn't just one person, it was several. So big oops for me, that I will in the future make sure people know how to screen share before I just put them on the spot and say, okay, share your screen.
All right. Well,
I'll share. Okay, it may be embarrassing, but so after Donalisa went down the hall for her new position, we started taking over some of the WomenRISE, and or all of it. And Donalisa had done it so well for so many years, and she just knew everything about it. Well, coming in from the back end, it's like it was a challenge, for sure. So I think one time I may not have gotten the video on. And another time we weren't quite clear, and I thought Kymberly had it. And I exited, which meant everybody that WomenRISE was then over. It was like, oops, well, there is a learning curve as you're getting used to this. So that was a very recent oops. So
well, we're all learning. As you
yes,
say, we're constantly learning.
yes, but I have to say Donalisa did a fantastic job at everything that she did here. And so where I think some of it we're kind of finally getting it taken done the right way. But thank you, Donalisa, for your big part of these 10 years.
It's my absolute pleasure, for sure. Thank you.
Yes, it definitely is big shoes for me to fill. But she's down the hall, so she's always willing to help, and I appreciate that. All right, Kymberly, any questions, any memories, anything that you received that you're on mute?
I think for me, it's just ladies, don't give up. Pause when you need to pause. Call us when you need someone to tell you that this is your journey. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And it's okay when there's setback. We'll be part of it with you. Everybody's entrepreneurial journey is unique to their lifestyle. And I think a lot of women come into a room and think, wow, they're all so far along. No, they aren't. They're the same place you are. They just know how to express it well.
Absolutely. All right, any of our participants today have shared anything with you, Kymberly, about their stories or any questions they have?
Or if they want to unmute and share a memory or something fun they've had or how we help them.
It's Michelle. You knew I was going to say something. So beyond what you teach in the classes, Saturdays, Tuesdays, accelerate programs, grant opportunities, it's the opportunity to network across the state, because I may be up here in Dallas-Fort Worth, but I met an occupational therapist in Corpus Christi who was inspired because of your help and the help of Lourdes and another organization she was previously at. I hung my shingle. So you never know how far reaching what you do, the ripple effect. So thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. That means a lot. All right, Foundations has their hand up, and this is Donalisa. She makes me cry every every single time.
Well, I don't have my camera on because I'm in my car, but of course I couldn't pass the opportunity. I say it in every platform that I have. Texas Women's University, the Center for Women Entrepreneurs, Tracy, like they are my business story. So anyone listening on this platform, you're here because obviously you heard that they were an amazing organization. But for me personally, I always have to say that, they saved me at a time that, was very challenging for me. And I definitely give credit to Tracy, Donalisa, the organization for helping me to still be established today. From the friendship, the resources, to the opportunities, the speaking engagements, just the overall support. Like there's not an organization that I feel supports not just, I'm going to say not even women, right? Like there's been times where, just people in general, like they support and they help. And I am a living testimony. They are my angels, right? Like they help me to be where I am today. And I'm forever grateful. They can never, ever, ever get rid of me. So they're stuck with me for life. So every single lady that's represented with this organization, I value, I treasure, and I'm very grateful for all that you do, not only for people like myself, but for women across the world, because it's not just limited to Texas. There are people that are outside of Texas that have learned about it and they do attend the WomenRISE sessions. And so I'm grateful. My story will continue to shine for TWU. If I was present, I would be hugging every last one of their necks, especially Tracy, because, like sometimes, you have these networks or lack thereof, and they have definitely been my network, my support, and I even call them my family. So thank you all so much for all you do for everyone you do it for.
I only teared a little. Thank you, Donalisa. Well, I see another hand up, Cherise.
Yes, I just wanted to say that I really appreciate this platform. I graduated back in 2010 and just lost connection with TWU. And when I started receiving notifications and emails about this program, it allowed me to come back, not just as an alumni, but just the network, the socialization, and giving me even hope, and as inspiration from each and every one of you all ladies. So I really enjoy this platform and appreciate me taking the time out and having something as such as this so that we can stay connected.
Thank you. I think we have one more hand up, Latanya.
Good morning, everyone. I wasn't going to say anything, but then I decided to share just to be really brief. One of the recent graduates from the fast track, May 1st, which was an amazing time. And I had already started my entrepreneurial journey, but those 12 weeks helped me fill in the gaps in a way I cannot explain. And the ladies were so amazing, so inspiring that it was just such an honor to also hear about their journey in the process. Of course, the team, Kymberly, Christina, Donalisa, Tracy, everybody, always so encouraging, definitely always ensuring that we knew that we weren't behind. We were right where we were supposed to be, which is always something that you want to hear, especially as a woman. And so, what I wanted to say, just so much so that how impactful it's been, that even last week I was presenting at a conference for pay, yay, and I was presenting, and it was in Houston, and I was able to have lunch with Sharita while I was there. So that was a great opportunity because I've only talked to her via Zoom, and so she was like, "Oh, let me know when you're going to be here. I'd be happy to make time for you." And we had such a great time. And then, went on about it. But it was just an awesome opportunity. And I think that these moments like this, even though we're virtual, it never really feels virtual. It does feel like we're in person, even though I know we're not. And like the other lady said, I'd probably be hugging everyone too, if I was in person. So thank you for letting me share.
I was so excited that you and Sharita got to meet in person. It was just incredible.
Yes,
Yay.
Kimberly, we did take a picture, so I hope you got that too, the selfie.
I did. I absolutely did.
Okay.
And for those of you that don't know, Sharita is our business advisor in Houston, and has an incredibly busy schedule, but always seems to make time for anybody that wants to just, connect. She's a great connector.
Right. She is great. We love her. She's a consulting advisor who came on for our Accelerate her there, but she also works with Overflow as well through the state. So we appreciate everything that those advisors do for us. All right. Well, we've got some things that are coming up, but I do want to really thank everybody for being here today. You are the reason we are here and do what we do. And it's so rewarding every day to be a part of your lives. Golly, I don't want to be that, but it means that much to all of us. All right, so we got some upcoming stuff. Do you want to do that, Lourdes, or do you want me to do it? Me. All right. Well, we've got our event tonight, so we put it back in there, and we're so excited. And many of you that are in here today, some of you actually have a table tonight. So we want to invite everyone local who can come on out. It's going to be a great time. It's from 5 to 7. We're going to have great food. We have a signature cocktail. We have the women vendors. We have swag for you, but most of all, the networking and connecting with each other. So those of you that can, someone will drop that link back in there again. That would be great because I see that some of you have already registered. July 15th, this is a special event. The Duplessis Foundation is hosting their annual Sales Day of Service. It's a virtual event where participants will receive one-on-one training from sales professionals, from executives at companies like LinkedIn, HubSpot, and Microsoft. We have started putting together monthly an email that's going to have links to other programs that are coming up and save the date, because we want to be mindful and not give you too many emails. So at the beginning of each month, we did have our first one this month that listed some of these things there. Through July 21st, applications are open for our Accelerate Her Denton in partnership with Stoke Co-working. And Connie, I see you here. You were there. There may be some others who have been through our Denton program. So that is open. So any of you who are in this area, feel free to sign up for that. We have a save the date. We're going to kick off our quarterly sales by attending. We're actually having a CWE sales training workshop on Thursday, August 7th from 6 to 8. You'll learn a sales success formula to build your sales strategy and create a sales plan for your business. This is in partnership with the Duplessis Foundation. Registration will be coming soon. In October 23rd, there is a Governor Small Business Summit here in Denton, and it is the woman focus one. So that should be something all of you who are within driving distance, we hope you'll attend that. All right, so we can.
Tracy, can I give
Yes.
a shameless plug for the Accelerate Her Houston?
Yes,
Our
you
application
can.
opens August 1st. It'll be open August 1st to August 21st. So if you're in the greater Houston area, and that will go out as well in our messaging.
Great, thank you for that. All right. Well, we could probably thank you all again so much for being here today. Well, I think the links are all in here that you know. And of course, yes, Donalisa has in there. We should have added that. The foundation's EDC, the applications are open now. This is a partner program with foundations for Donalisa, jump on and just give it quick.
So it's a statewide leadership program. So any of you all that are in the state of Texas and would like to be a part of it, this is our 5th year, and it's a leadership capacity building program that we partner with TWU with. So information can be found via the flyer there.
Great, thank you. I knew you could explain it better than me. All right, thank you again, everyone, for being here, and we look forward to seeing many of you tonight. Kymberly, you are the host, so it is now back to you for the poll.
Okay, so we're going to do another round of networking. If you have time to stay on, you can connect with other ladies that are entrepreneurs in that. But I'm also going to launch our poll that we do every week, so that we know if this is the type of program that you want and what kind of programming you want to see in the future. So if you wouldn't mind taking a minute to do that, I've just launched it. And then when we get into the breakouts, as always, if you end up in a room by yourself, I will see that and I will come in and move you to a room that has other people. Sometimes that happens when our founders have joined us, but then have to get quickly to another meeting, and they're still technically on ours as well. So don't worry about that. We like to meet you where you're at. That's not a problem, and we're happy to move you guys and make sure you're all in the right rooms. So we'll have a couple more minutes to finish the poll. We appreciate you guys helping with that. It helps us to know what you want to hear from us.
All right, thanks, Kymberly. We've got it over back to you. Look forward to seeing some of you tonight, and thank you again, everyone, for being here and making our journey such a great one.
Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you all some tonight.
Thank you.
Okay. And we have time for one more round of breakout. So I am going to create the rooms. And you should be being invited now.
Kymberly, did you stop the recording?
Not yet.
Okay,
I will stop it now.
thank you.